The Cold War wasn't just fought on land. It raged above the clouds, where invisible radars hunted. And speed was the only shield. For every F-15 patrolling Western skies, the Soviet Union needed an answer. Not just a fighter, but a statement of national pride, born from frost, forged from fear, and sculpted into perfection. This is the story of the Su-27 flanker, the Soviet Union's most elegant weapon. By the mid-1970s, American dominance in the air was absolute. The F-15 Eagle ruled the skies with unmatched speed, while the F-16 Falcon brought agility and precision. Soviet leaders demanded a counter. The task fell to Pavel Sukhoi's design bureau, already known for brute force aircraft like the Su-24. But this time, the mission was different. They weren't just building a fighter. They were building a symbol of Soviet mastery. The concept was audacious, a twin-engine fighter that could fly higher, farther, and with greater control than anything NATO had ever faced. Thus began the birth of the Su-27, known by NATO as the flanker, and by its creators as the crown of Soviet engineering. In the frozen city of Komsomolsk on Amur, thousands of engineers worked through endless winters. The blueprints of the Su-27 were drawn not on paper, but in struggle. Every line refined through trial, error, and pride. The jet's twin engines, AL-31FS, were spaced wide apart to create natural lift and stability. Its massive wings, blending seamlessly into the fuselage, gave it a grace that seemed impossible for a machine built to kill. The airframe was titanium, its body curved like sculpture, proof that even in the harshest regime, beauty could emerge from steel. To the outside world, it was just another fighter. To the men who built it, it was art under pressure. On a frozen morning in May 1977, test pilot Vladimir Ilyushin stepped into the cockpit. His father, the famed aircraft designer Sergei Ilyushin, had once built legends like the Il-2 Sturmovik. Now, the son would carry that legacy into the sky. As the engines roared, the ground trembled. The Su-27 rolled forward, snow swirling like ghosts beneath its wings. And then, liftoff. The crowd fell silent as the aircraft climbed effortlessly, carving a white arc through the pale Soviet sky. Ilyushin later described it simply. It moved as if it understood you. This could be free. That day, the Soviet Union had birthed a legend. The Su-27 was not built for comfort. It was built for instinct. Its control system allowed pilots to pull impossible angles of attack, reaching the edge of aerodynamic chaos without losing control. The jet could sustain 9G turns, roll faster than any Western rival, and recover from stalls that would destroy most aircraft. The secret lay in its blended body and digital fly-by-wire system, something only a handful of nations had mastered. Inside, it was simple yet functional. Cyrillic instruments, analog dials, and the heart of a machine that demanded respect. To fly it well, a pilot didn't just need training. He needed nerve. Because the Su-27 wasn't a weapon you commanded. It was a force you learned to dance with. No aircraft captured imagination like the Su-27 in the 1989 Paris Air Show. The world watched in disbelief as Soviet pilot Viktor Pugachev pulled off the impossible. The Cobra Maneuver. The jet lifted its nose to the heavens, stalled mid-air, and then recovered as if gravity had paused. Western spectators called it witchcraft. Soviet engineers called it elegance. The Su-27 didn't just prove itself in combat. It became the poetry of flight itself, a moving sculpture that turned physics into art. When the Iron Curtain fell, the Su-27 found itself flying under new flags. Russia, Ukraine, China, and India all inherited or purchased the mighty flanker. In the skies of Africa, Su-27s of the Ethiopian Air Force clashed with MiG-29s from Eritrea, both designed by the same motherland. It was Soviet technology fighting itself. Teacher versus student in the world's most ironic dogfights. The Su-27 triumphed, not by luck, but by raw power and pilot mastery. Even in the chaos of modern warfare, it remained the ultimate expression of Soviet precision. The Su-27's power was undeniable. But perfection came with a price. Its engines were magnificent but thirsty. Its range limited compared to Western jets. Early avionics lagged behind digital systems of the West, making it a hunter best suited for short, fierce encounters. Yet in every nation that flew it, pilots described the same feeling, that the aircraft was alive. It forgave small mistakes, punished arrogance, and rewarded instinct. The Su-27 wasn't built to be easy. It was built to be extraordinary. Inside War Thunder, the Su-27 flanker lives again. Digital engines roar. Vapor trails twist like the real jet's dance. Developers painstakingly recreated its aerodynamic profile, from its AL-31 thrust to its IRST sensor dome. Even the subtle flex of its wings at high G. Yet, in this digital world, the stakes are lower. You respawn, you reset, you live again. In reality, one stall meant death. But the beauty of simulation is that it lets us relive what few ever could. For a moment, every player becomes a Soviet test pilot, tasting the edge of the impossible. To master the Su-27 is to understand restraint. It isn't about wild maneuvers or blind aggression. It's about timing, patience, and control. Real flanker pilots train to feel the air, not just see it. Their hands move as if synchronized with the jet's soul. One pilot described it best. When you fly the Su-27, you stop thinking and start feeling. This it is this connection between man and machine that War Thunder tries to capture, even through the digital sky. Decades have passed since the Su-27 first took flight, but its legacy still echoes through the clouds. Its descendants, the Su-30, Su-33, Su-35, carry its DNA, evolving the dream that began in the frost of Komsomolsk. In museums, its blue-gray body rests like a relic of perfection. In War Thunder, it flies eternal, a digital ghost of Soviet power and human artistry. The Su-27 flanker remains a paradox. Brutal yet graceful, mechanical yet alive. And though the Cold War is long over, every time its engines roar, history breathes again. This is Steel and Pixels, where technology becomes memory, and history takes flight once more.